Kendrick Lamar. Perhaps it's just how cemented and important his name is right now, considering what has happened within the past year. I don't think it's just the hip hop community, but also the state of mainstream music and this even the conversation about the typical industry of entertainment culture. Like in 2024, if I were the one to go out in this costume, and that given I have to go outside, but anyways, if I have given the opportunity to be the one to interview the people, like let's pretend like I will be on this costume and like this is my microphone and I will just shove it in your faces and be like, hey friend, what is or who is the most important like memorable event. Oh my god, I'm losing my English. But okay, anyways, like, hey friend, what is the most memorable event this year of music that you like remember? And I will bet that in North America there is like a 90% chance that the answer will be the Kendrick and Drake beef. Because it's not just happened to be like the Kendrick and Drake beef because they are like these two artists were dissing each other. I think it's not just like is so rare and exciting that we got to witness how there are two titans of the current music industry nowadays clashing over on our phone screen daily for what has happened like a week. But it's also an in-depth conversation about our culture because I believe that in fact we are deeply yearning for that sense of realness, of authenticity from the people that we got presented with. And I think that Kendrick Lamar is the type of artist that can truly resonate well with that imagery. Like we have seen that prove to ourselves with his previous projects, the lucrative ideas that Kendrick Lamar offered in albums like To Pimp a Butterfly, Damn, or even Section 80s and Good Kid Mad-City. Kendrick knows his position and he knows how to connect to it, to stay connected to it, and at least he tries to do so. And so that really begs the question of what will Kendrick try to do next, after having won this most celebrated oh my god, I cannot speak celebrated oh my god, celebrated battle of this year, having victory laps after victory laps. And I guess we have the answer now with the release of GNX by the one and only Sir Kendrick Lamar. And as a Kendrick fan myself, and a very much declared one at that, like I truly do not conceal my love for this man enough on social media. Anyways, I will be honest with you guys. When this album drops, I was losing my shit because I read this somewhere. But you have to understand, there are two kind of great albums. The great albums that are great, and the great albums that send people into a frenzy. It's like a fucking... Because you have to understand, the way that GNX drops is like a fucking nuke, okay? It's like a meteor falling from the sky, landing in our faces, swiping everything away from its direction and sending everybody into a frenzy. That is how great of a feeling that is. And perhaps this is indeed intentional. Like, I know it sounds silly because, like, of course, intentional silly, like, it is like a surprise release. But it is almost like the way that the flow and the structure of this album is. Like, this is the most up to your face, like cut to the chase Kendrick Lamar album ever to be released. Like, you do not have to really decipher it. Everything is right there on the written lyrics itself. And you don't really have to piece it together. You don't have to really do like the, trick and treats. Like, everything, it's right there. Like, all the narratives and all the stories on this album can be interpreted like right away itself. And hell, even Kendrick Lamar said it himself, like, fuck the lyrics, sis. He wants you to finish it right onto the first track. Like, it's his message. So I think it's back to the conversation about what I was talking about earlier, about this is the moment of truth for Kendrick Lamar. Like, this is technically the album that he can kind of reveal himself to the world and do everything as he pleases with, you know, what he wants to portray in his art right now, because he is now the titan, he is now the new victor of hip-hop, you know. But contrary to many of our prediction, or like just many people prediction, like, oh my god, this is gonna be another album that target Drake, is gonna be album like a diss album, whatever. I think it's much more than that, because Kendrick appears to actually, there's a lot of feelings of conflictedness, like. And I know I tried to say that as a pun, like, do you remember, because you were conflicted, but there is a lot of feelings of conflicted into this, because perhaps Kendrick is not that at all happy after all that victory. Like, he sounds of many different emotions. He sounds of anger, of disgust, of disappointment, something very eerie going on in the background, and it really cultivates together to be the album of GNX. And it's almost as if like Kendrick is like, you know, he sounds like a snake hissing at everybody that comes too close in his way. And so we got introduced with, okay, I will have to pace myself here because I will need my paper. I'm trying my best to not record this another time. So please excuse me if I have to look at my paper. But anyway, we got introduced with whacked out murals, a very sinister synth like a grand opening for great cinema, as Kendrick raps about how not the fact there is a mural of him, but the fact that that mural dedicated to him got vandalized. For maybe that's why disrespect and rejection stings bitter that much, as it's not just to Kendrick at least that he got disrespected, but he felt that his hard work, unfortunately earned in fame and success, splits himself with the greats in hip-hop. He raps about how Snoop Dogg posted Taylor Made, the AI Drake diss track that fakes Snoop's and Tupac's voice, and how disappointing really is that his horrible appearance caused clashes between him and Lil Wayne, one of his inspiration. And I think about this like from time to time, but in Asian culture we have this mindset of like working until your idols become your rivals, but it seems like that outcome of such is not what Kendrick is seeking. Kendrick seeks to be the top, to be the greatest, to be the one that raises the bar and inspires competition. That took me a couple runs of the album for me to really realize that the album is heavily conceptualized in this idea. And well, maybe because I am slow, but the way that this album is very much easy, like it's very accessible. The bangers on this album are great, okay? But the way that the length of the album is so short, it makes these themes of switch up, like the switch up between themes or between the vibes, between like the aesthetics of extracts on like the album, feels very fast and like, you know, just fast switching, and such made my experience to navigate the theme of the album much harder than I expected it to be. And unfortunately for me, like in the back of my mind, I still consider this to be on the lesser side of the albums that have been offered by Kendrick. And it's not like that I did not enjoy my first listening with this album. Like I say, this album is very accessible. Like some of the greatest, like some of the most easiest to groove with, like catchiest beat of Kendrick is on this album. But I still think that I still have this thought in my mind. It's because number one, Kendrick is a phenomenal artist. Like a lot of his project is like incomparable. And number two is that I think like for some tracks like Hey Now or GNX, to me at least, it feels unbalanced in terms of harmony and chemistry to the album. And for maybe, just maybe, Kendrick really doesn't have that many peers like he claims, because like besides Caesar, I don't feel the features like are hitting that much for me, because the way that I see is, maybe this is the reason, is that Kendrick is really a craftsman when it comes to his art. This album can be sectioned into two sides. The sides that is very easy to groove it, like you just like nod your head and you be like, yeah, this is it, Kendrick. Or the sides that you get to understand Kendrick or his philosophy or where he stands as a person, as an artist. And I think that those stories, if you read into the lyrics, Again, I know that he would say fuck the lyricists, but sometimes we need to dissect the lyrics, okay? The lyrics, the stories, the narratives that he puts on those tracks are phenomenal. The stories that he tells in the lyrics are like truly mesmerizing. Let's take Reincarnated as an example that I would try to like show you. Okay, I need to read because I'm not confident that I can like illustrate this without reading, because my writing is like very ugly, but like I write better than what I speak. Oh my god, this is truly an introvert moment. But anyways, let's take Reincarnated as an example. As Kendrick heavily raps about this imaginative of lives his soul has wandered through, reincarnation one after the another, on this very lushful keys and strings. The way his anger sounds in lines like, I don't know how to make friends, I'm a lonely soul, it's so me. Anyways, I don't know how to make friends, I'm a lonely soul. But it's not just the way that he sounds, but also the narrative he's choosing. As blues guitarist attracted to gluttony, or a genius singer for a genius a genius female singers for addicted to the life of drugs and brown sugar. I do not know if I can say the word drugs on YouTube. And the way that is so detailed, but a lot of what Kendrick about is just a position, and we still feel pain and conflict as the story of Reincarnated goes on. How this another self version of Kendrick's own voice tell him that he actually deeply loves war despite his effort pushing peace, and all of that at his coming to terms with the flaws and promises to try using his power for good. This life of him ends and reincarnated onto the next. And the story of this, oh my god, I cannot, I feel like I did not do Reincarnated justice, because I have to like end the video. But anyways, my idea is that I have a feeling that a good portion of the album will go pretty gracefully as time goes on. And this album is a mixture of West Coast bangers, lustful R&Bs, and resonating like narratives. However, it may take time. It may take time for people to truly appreciate it, because I know there's a lot of discord going on. Anyways, I would just say that Kendrick is a great artist and absolutely a phenomenal rapper, but perhaps it's too soon to ask people that when they will get tired of seeing victory laps after victory laps. And that is something that I think it should sink into people's mind when they are enjoying this album, when they're just listening to this album. And so by all of that, I think it's time for grading. And my personal grading will be, I will use the Ventano system because I have not picked anything for me yet, but it's a strong 7 to a light 8. I think it's a light 8 because my ranking is I think it's just been, I tried to decipher this album, not like decipher it, but like just really like enjoy it. And like I think it's a light 8. Sorry. Oh my god, I'm so scared. But I know that you enjoy it. I know like a lot of Kendrick fans are enjoying it. So I hope that if this video got viral or anything, that does not change your perspective onto like the way that you like enjoy the album. I very much enjoy it, and I enjoy a lot of the tracks. Oh my god, Luther and Gloria. Oh my god, I love Kendrick R&B. But anyways, so what is your ranking to this album? Did you love it? Did you hate it? How did you enjoy it? Do your best? I cannot. I'm too fentanyl. Okay, anyways, how did you listen to the album? Did you love it? Did you hate it? How would you rate it? You're the best. Tell me if you like this album, and you know, try discussion, because I love discussion. Anyways, bye. I had to rush to school.